And the move you said did end up happening late after?
Uh, yeah, eventually I see. I have my book map open, but yeah, eventually, if you look at the charts, my target was that 25 number that you mentioned, and it went past that eventually. If you look at charts,
But the move ended up happening at around wait, 7:44, right?
I entered at 7:40, and then I got stopped at 7:41, and then yeah, the move eventually happened. I'm just hold on, my bad. I'm opening that up. 15 minutes. Yeah, the move eventually happened like minutes after.
Okay, that move at 7:44 is where I see the actual absorption setup that we take. So if you can you see my screen?
1 second. It's just white right
Even
now.
give me a sec. It's just white.
Yeah, unless I'm supposed to click on. Yeah, it's just me and you, but it's like just our. There we go. It's loading it. All right, I see your book map.
It's okay. So see how here hold up. It's fucking I knew it was gonna happen. And my book map is like freezing because I have so much shit going on right now. Um, see how here, I mean, I didn't have the supply zone, but see how here this aggressive buying, you got in at 40.
Like 40, within that 40 minute, 40:19. So
Let me actually go to the 2 minute. One sec. Okay, so you got in like around right here somewhere. And see how here there's no limit orders on your entry?
yeah,
So I know you mentioned on your setup you don't see limit orders a lot of time, but that's what I personally don't like about that setup. That, like I said, it's not mechanical where like there's clear things that I can identify that tell me this is my time to enter. Whereas over here, the things I want to see happen. It's an aggressive, just one thing is missing, but I'll explain right now. An aggressive push up into, say, I had a supply zone here. Limit orders aggressively hold that buying. And then you can see here the aggressive buying. You see the aggressive push on CBD. And then here we're seeing that CBD is struggling to get back to being green, and then it rejects it slightly on this little push down, and then it pops back up, and those limit orders continue to hold that buying. So this is already, I would have preferred this rejection here to be a little deeper. What is this here? It's what's this price? About 50 to 47. That's 47, 48 for
three.
950. 3 points. Just like one of the setups I had explained to you last time. And I told you I wanted the selling to be a little deeper, which is the same case here. It doesn't happen, but it's still valid because on this pop up here, limit orders still hold it. And then look at the shift in CVD here as CVD is falling at the same time. So you could have entered anywhere around here, around 46. This is where I would have wanted to enter. And see how it's mechanical, where every time, even if you look at the long that I had brought up, that I had mentioned that I missed, everything is the same. It's just the opposite. You get sellers show their presence, pops back up into those limit orders, rejects it, and you slowly start to see that shift coming in as the CBD is curling downward aggressively. Whereas yours, you can, yeah, we get the rejection of we get the rejection of supply of your supply zone here. So I don't know which one was your signal that it was rejecting, this one or this one.
I might have used both. Like, hold
That's
on,
still
base.
valid.
Yeah, I'm just looking at. I entered at 38, so I saw rejection. Wait, where are we at? Oh yeah, yeah. So yeah, I mean, I see that rejection right there, and then the little green volume bar next at the bottom. I was like, oh, like that's the aggressive buy. At that moment, it's the tallest bar on the volume,
Yeah,
and then
yeah, and it is.
yeah. And so then to me, I'm like, oh, is that the aggressive buy up into limit orders? Obviously, I never timed that right. But then I'm also like, CVD's going up. So no, that's not matching. Like at that moment where the mouse is at. And then, but it rejects, CVD starts going down. And then if you kind of see from that pop, that whole like, from that pop you were just at up until where I enter at 41, it's kind of going down. It's more consolidating, but I was like zooming in and out CVD, and I'm like, oh, it's going down. And literally, as I enter, it started curling up, and I was like, "Oh fuck."
That's where the trick is with this that I don't like about it. Because yes, I get the limit orders holding on this aggressive buying, which is what I want to see. And then boom, say this was my supply zone. In my head, I'm like, okay, I need to see sellers show their presence. Boom, sellers show their presence. I'm like, okay, now I need to see a pop back into these limit orders to show me that price is holding or sellers are holding price down. Instead of getting that pop up, you just enter because it retests that supply zone. And yeah, you've seen CVD curling, but to me, it's stalling. What I would have preferred if this was the proper entry point was limit orders. Say, like, for example, here, limit orders appear, uh, buyers come in. The only thing that's missing is look at volume here compared to volume over here. It's completely different. Volume, I would have wanted aggressive selling to start stepping in here with CVD curling downward. Exactly what happened here. Now, like, say this happened over here, over on the left side. It's aggressive buying. CVD tries to go green, struggles. It's somewhat stalling here. Sellers show their presence. Like I said, I would have preferred a deeper drop, but it doesn't happen. Buyers pop up into those limit orders, and that selling shift really starts occurring right here. And that CVD drop starts occurring at the same exact time. Now, if I were to bring other, my Discord here and come up to you can see the exact same thing, just the opposite way. Aggressive selling into, let's say this was my key 15-minute demand zone that I had. Limit orders are here holding that. Exactly what I mentioned on the supply version. Buyers show their presence. That's why I say that. Buyers show their presence. Now I want to see a pullback into those limit orders, which does occur here. Look at CVD. It pops on those buyers' presence, pulls back with this pullback, and then it barely makes a lower low before buyers step in again. So sellers present themselves again, it slightly pops up, but I don't see a volume shift here. So to me, it's not time to enter yet. And this is on the 2 minute. Yeah, this is on the 2 minute. So then sellers pull back down again. Limit orders are still there holding price. We're at my key level, if it was my key level, which it was 15-minute demand in this case. Buyers start to shift in as CVD is curling up aggressively. The same exact thing I mentioned on the supply version is happening here, but on the demand side now. This is what I mean by mechanical, where no matter uh, what's occurring, like you can see those key points happening every time. Volume shift plus the CVD curl at the same exact time. That to me is A plus. And especially because we got this aggressive bulk of selling trying to break under the key level. CVD barely breaks under previous low. This is almost that same situation where CVD is trying to go green, but it fails to go green and then pops back and then drops back down. Instead of that, it's CVD is trying to make a lower low, fails to make a lower low, or slightly makes a lower low, and then aggressively curls up on the buying shift here. Now, the thing is, I know you like to zoom in and out a lot. So, the hard part about this is I'm always, once price gets to my key level, I'm staying in the 2 minute, just watching how price is reacting on this absorption.
Right. I do the same thing, but maybe I get myself out of it without realizing it. Like once I'm in my zone, I'm like, all right, zoom in, pay more attention.
Yeah.
But what was it?
But
Go ahead.
I see how I see how your setup is here based on what you showed me last time, the past few setups. It is there. It's what you explained to me. The sellers show their presence. You've seen the only thing I would say is that if you zoom out, CVD is trending upwards here. Yeah, CVD is trending upwards. But I do see how it stalled and then it popped back in to your zone. Yeah, supply zone. Um, oh, I could pull up your.
I got it. I got that consistent failure strategy right now.
But see how if it's even zoomed out, you can see CVD was grinding, pushing up as price was pushing up, and then it rejects here once, pops back up into that supply zone, and then if you look at your second picture, it is curling down slightly or like kind of trying to trend down, but I just didn't like that on the retest here, no limit orders, and that volume is just weak. But this can't, it does have, as you've seen before, it has worked. It's just that the chances of it stopping you out before the actual move occurs is a lot higher than if you wait for that full volume shift that occurred later with the CVD dropping.
Right now, right now, what you showed me of your trade, I needed to see that because I needed to remember what the strategy we originally were learning looked like. Because I do remember everything that you just explained, and I was like, ah, yeah, I did remember that. Like, I do remember learning about that, and then I'm like understanding I deviated away from it a little bit, thinking, I don't know, like just adding to my understanding and thinking it would work. But yeah, I did. I remember, like, I like that way that screenshot did defend the limit orders when it got to it. And I guess I
Look, here's
forgot
the,
seeing how much, I
go ahead.
forgot seeing some of the things you pointed out right now. That's why I was like, oh, I forgot about. No, you're good. Keep going.
See, this is the same exact concept, almost of what we were looking at for your supply zone. Buyers aggressively pop up into these limit orders, and this is what I mean by I want to see sellers show their presence more. This is a deeper rejection, which it kind of is a large rejection to be honest. This time it's 13 to about 6406. That's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's almost 7 points, which is still valid. If it was 10 points, then I'd be a little more sketched out, but 7 points is valid. It pops back up here, aggressive buying back into these limit orders where my supply zone is. Limit orders hold price, and now look at how CVD and volume shift starts to occur at the same time. CVD tried to go green once, CVD tried to go green third time, and on this second retest of supply, volume starts to shift in. Obviously, here it's not as aggressive as early the one we were looking at earlier, but here it gets more aggressive, and CVD is already trending downward. So you could get in around 64.11, 64.10 with the stop above 13. So that's maybe 3 to 4 point stop.
Damn.
But see how no matter where, no matter what day, no matter where, I'm able to explain the same exact thing over and over again. If you look at any trade in this absorption tab, you're most likely going to see the volume shift and the CVD curl together at the same exact time with the limit orders holding. That's where your setup gets dangerous because you're seeing the rejection there, but the time that moment that you enter, it becomes vague on your setup because you don't have that clear identification of limit orders holding price down, volume shift occurring at the same time, and CVD. This is like three confirmations telling me this is your time to enter. Whereas you, it's just it popped back up into the supply zone and you're thinking it's going to reject because of what you've seen previously. Whereas for me, it's telling me it's going to reject because of what's occurring at the current exact moment.
Damn. I'm glad I recorded this one.
That's where I'm saying you want to master the setup, because if you do want to proceed with that setup that you're taking, you have to find those little nuances that make it your reason to enter. And that's why I like this setup that I use a lot more, because it gives me that exact signal at that current moment to take my entry.
Tight. Yeah, that's all I needed. I needed like a quick compare and contrast to like I feel like I'm at a wall right now, and then this just explained a lot.
Yeah.
Tight.
That's why I've been telling Gabriel too, like we got to master this exact setup before we move on to anything else. And that's why I'm also telling myself, like, only take this setup at your higher time frame zones, like the 4 hour, 2 hour, 90 minute, and 45 minute. And now that what I mentioned earlier about the 15 minute being 5 points away from the higher time frame zone, I may start adding that slightly, but I'm still only focusing on my higher time frame zones and watching for absorption to occur there. Anything else is just noise to me, although it can work because I want to master this specific setup before I add anything else on and confuse myself. That's
All right.
basically it.
Tight. No, appreciate it. Thanks for
Just
getting on.
for sure. Hit me up if you got any more questions.
All right, bro. Thanks. I'll check you
All
later.
right, peace.
Peace.